Most people think success comes from one big move, one lucky break, one giant leap. But that's a lie. It's not the big things that shape your life. It's the small ones. The small thoughts you repeat every day. The small actions you take without even noticing. The quiet choices. The silent beliefs. The whispers in your mind you never question. That's what's building your future. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Right now. You're not one decision away from a breakthrough. You're one habit away. One mindset shift away. One tiny correction done consistently away from everything changing. Success doesn't show up in explosions. It shows up in patterns. In precision. In discipline. Your results today are the echo of your thinking from yesterday? So the question is, what are you thinking? What are you allowing into your mind? What are you repeating without awareness? Because the difference between the person who wins and the person who just survives isn't luck. It isn't talent. It's alignment. Alignment with purpose. With clarity. With action. It's doing the small things over and over when no one's watching. It's saying yes to growth when comfort screams stay the same. You want a different life? You don't need a miracle. You need a shift. A shift in thought. A shift in energy. A shift in identity. Change one thought today, and you plant a seed that could rewrite your destiny. This isn't motivational fluff. This is how the universe responds. Tiny hinges swing big doors. Tiny choices create massive change. So stop waiting for perfect timing and start becoming perfectly intentional. Because small differences in thinking lead to big differences in results. And your time is now. Belief is the root. Action is the fruit. But it always starts in the mind. If you don't believe something is possible, you'll never reach for it. You'll never fight for it. You'll never even see it. Because the mind doesn't chase what the heart doesn't trust. Every great achievement in history started with belief. Someone had to believe in something that didn't exist yet. They had to see it before it was real. They had to feel it before they touched it. That's the power of belief. But belief without courage? It dies quietly. Because the moment you believe something more is possible, the test will come. Doubt will whisper. Fear will rise. Your old identity will try to pull you back. And that's where most people fold. Not because they're weak, but because they've never been told. Growth requires risk. It requires stepping into the unknown and staying there long enough to evolve. The comfort zone feels safe. But it's a trap. It's a prison dressed up as peace. And it kills more dreams than failure ever will. You want to change your life? You want new results? Then stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for guarantees. There are no guarantees, only action. Only faith. Faith in your vision. Faith in your ability to adapt. Faith in the law of cause and effect. Because when you move, life moves. When you shift, the world bends to match you. But it begins with a risk. A risk to think differently. A risk to act on that thought. Even when it scares you. The people who succeed aren't fearless. They just choose to move forward anyway. They feel the fear. But they don't let it own them. They understand. Every time you stretch, every time you go beyond what's comfortable, you become more aware, more capable, more in alignment with your purpose. But none of it happens until you decide to trust. Trust that your ideas matter. Trust that your vision is valid. Trust that even if you fail, you'll rise stronger. Because failure doesn't mean the end. It means refinement. It means feedback. It means you're in motion. And movement is everything. A stagnant mind can't create. A fearful heart can't attract abundance. You were not designed to shrink. You were built to expand. To take up space. To express the power placed inside you. So dare to think bigger. Dare to take the step that feels too big. Because that too big step? It's usually the one that unlocks everything. Your next level isn't waiting in logic. It's waiting in faith. And faith is a decision. Not a feeling. So decide. Today. To believe. To risk. To rise. You don't need all the answers to begin. You only need one thing. A mind made up. Thomas Edison didn't just invent the light bulb. He believed in it long before it ever lit up. He failed over 1,000 times. 1,000 attempts. 1,000 no's from the world. But his belief? Unshakable. He didn't see failure. He saw feedback. And that belief, combined with relentless action, changed the world forever. Now look at Oprah Winfrey. Born into poverty. Abused. Told she was too emotional, too black, too different. She could have accepted that. She could have played small. But she didn't. She believed she was meant for more. She dared to speak. She dared to lead with heart. In a world that said heart had no place. And what happened? She became one of the most influential voices on earth. Not because it was easy, but because she believed it was possible. And she risked everything to make it real. That's the pattern. Big change always starts with small shifts. A shift in how you see yourself. A shift in what you're willing to do. A shift in what you believe you deserve. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. J.K. Rowling was rejected by a dozen publishers. Each of them heard no. Each of them faced resistance. But none of them stopped. Because they believed. And they took the risk anyway. The risk of being misunderstood. The risk of being judged. The risk of failure. They understood something most never learn. The bigger risk is staying the same. The real danger is inaction. Because nothing kills potential faster than waiting for certainty. The truth? You'll never be fully ready. You'll never be completely fearless. And that's okay. You don't need perfection. You need a decision. A decision to trust yourself. Even when the path is dark. Even when no one claps. Even when everything in you screams to quit. Because that's where transformation happens. Not in the comfort. But in the stretch. You don't need to become someone else. You need to uncover who you already are. And that starts with a choice. A choice to believe. That you're capable. That you're worthy. That your dreams were given to you for a reason. The world doesn't reward the smartest. It rewards the bold. The ones who try. The ones who show up again and again. The ones who walk through fear instead of running from it. Success doesn't come from luck. It comes from alignment. When your belief matches your actions. Doors open. Not always instantly. But inevitably. That's what Edison knew. That's what Oprah lived. That's what every trailblazer discovers. So if you're sitting on a dream, a vision that won't leave you, a pull that keeps coming back, that's not random. That's calling. And it's time to answer. Not by leaping into chaos, but by starting small. By adjusting your thinking. By aligning your energy. By doing what others won't. Because you know where it leads. Every massive result you see today began as one silent decision. A decision to believe. And to act. And that decision is waiting for you. Let me ask you something. What if one small decision today could change the entire direction of your life? Not tomorrow. Not next year. Today. Would you take that step? Would you trust that inner pull? Because the truth is, you're not waiting on the universe. The universe is waiting on you. Waiting for you to stop doubting. Waiting for you to stop shrinking. Waiting for you to decide. Decide to believe. Decide to risk. Decide to become. You don't need another plan. You don't need another course or podcast or approval. You need courage. The courage to think differently. To move when it's uncomfortable. To act when it doesn't make perfect sense. Because that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. And you. You were never meant to stay in the shadows. You've got power in you that this world hasn't seen yet. Ideas. Visions. Gifts. They weren't given to you by accident. They're yours to express. Yours to build. Yours to unleash. But it starts now. Not someday. Not when it's safe. Now. Every shift begins with one decision. One new thought. One bold move. One moment of saying, I'm not going back. So stop negotiating with fear. Stop arguing for your limits. Stop telling yourself it's too late. It's not too late. It's right on time. You were born for more. And you know it. You can feel it. That fire inside you? That ache in your chest when you settle? That vision that just won't die? That's your soul reminding you. You were made for greatness. So take the risk. Take the leap. Take the shot. Even if your voice shakes. Even if no one claps yet. Even if it doesn't look perfect. Do it anyway. Do it with faith. Do it because your future is worth it. You were not meant to just survive. You were meant to thrive. So go. Go create. Go believe. Go become. This is your moment. Right here. Right now. Make the decision. Make the move. Make it real. Because small shifts in thought and brave moves in action create results beyond imagination. And it's your turn now. Let's go.